YouTube is such a powerful tool to add value to the end user. If you make a promise in your title and then deliver on that promise in the video, then you can start building a following, have it lead to new business, and then change lives in the process.
Hey coaches, we've gotten a lot of questions about whether or not you should use YouTube to grow your coaching business, and if you should, how you should use YouTube to grow your coaching business. And so we invited expert YouTube guru Sean Cannell on to answer those questions for you. As you know, because you are watching this on YouTube, we've taken a step into the YouTube territory, and we've gotten a lot out of that. We've gotten a lot of leads out of it, a lot of folks watching, positioning ourselves as an expert. But how can you position yourself as an expert on YouTube? What do you need to remember? And what is the reality of growing a YouTube channel? What's all going to be involved in that for you? All right, here's my conversation with Sean Cannell. You're a coach and you have no YouTube presence. What are some things that you would want to advise a coach to do in order to get started?
Yeah, I think number one, we talk about different strategies. We have like 16 of them, and they include things like teach specific skills would be one of them. Trend surfing, I think we should touch that one in a second. But the foundational one is ASQ, answer specific questions. Now, this is perfect for coaches because it's what you already do. But what you like to think about for YouTube is you could brainstorm right now. What are 5 to 10 of the most asked questions that you get in your business as a coach? YouTube is a search engine. It's the second largest search engine in the world. And over 70% of people use YouTube to help them solve a problem. And so a good video would be maybe something specific. What's a specific question that people ask you? How do I solve an HR conflict? Or maybe it's something specific. If you were coaching people in finance or taxes, 2020, or what are the 2024 updates in the tax code? It's a very specific question, very searchable, and one question, one video, so that people can, as they're looking for information, or even as just the YouTube algorithm recommends videos, you've got poignant content that is hitting a specific pain point, a specific question. And sometimes we get overwhelmed with the tech and all of that stuff, but the key is it's not about the production value, having any kind of fancy gear. It's really about the content value. Reminds me, we work with a lot of real estate people, and this Andrew Finney is a real estate agent in Las Vegas, and we look up one of his videos, 8 things you should never say when buying a home. And I watched the video, and it looks like it was shot on a baked potato. I mean, the video quality could not be worse. It's like a $50 webcam.
Yeah.
No fancy microphone like I have here. No studio like this. Echoey in the room. He was framed up wrong. He was like down here, and his arms were by his sides. And this is it. And I'm not putting him down, because here's what's wild. This video has almost 300,000 views.
Yeah.
The video is 5 years old and is still getting views today. And I think what we need to realize is when people are clicking on that video, they're not expecting it to be the Mandalorian, George Lucas, Star Wars quality. They're not expecting it to be a Jerry Bruckheimer film. They're looking for an answer to a question. Like, they're looking for information. So if people can see you and hear you, and you add value and deliver on the promise you made on the title, then people's lives can be impacted. And so we get overwhelmed on even the delivery. And fast forward to today, I love Andrew's story, because now he does have the fancy studio, and he has figured that stuff out, and he's got more comfortable on tech and with the tech, and more comfortable on camera. But you kind of just got to start with what you have and realize that YouTube is such a powerful tool to add value to the end user. If you make a promise in your title and then deliver on that promise in the video, then you can start building a following, have it lead to new business, and then change lives in the process.
Hey coaches, I'm interrupting this video, but for a very good reason. We recently recorded this interview with Sean Cannell as part of a Coach Builder Summit. It was a 2-day summit in which we interviewed folks like Will Guidara, who started 11 Madison Park and is the author of the New York Times bestseller, Unreasonable Hospitality. We interviewed Amy Porterfield, who wrote the book 2 Weeks Notice. We interviewed Christy Wright about how to become an expert speaker and use keynote addresses to build your coaching business. We interviewed Michael Hyatt, on and on and on. We interviewed a lot of people. Michael Bungay-Stanier was fantastic. He wrote the book, The Coaching Habit. We interviewed some of the world's best helpers in getting coaches to succeed in their coaching business, either starting or growing a coaching business. We've taken some of the best of those interviews and put them into what we call the Coach Builder Summit. And you can actually watch the Coach Builder Summit at coachbuilder.com coachbuilder.com/summit, coachbuilder.com/summit. If that sounds interesting to you, if you would just love some inspiration and practical tips, here's my promise to you. If you watch the summit, you will learn something that makes you another $10,000 as a coach. But more importantly, you will learn something that gives you the ability to deeper impact your clients and change their lives, which is what I know you want. So go to coachbuilder.com/summit and watch that. It's a free gift from us, and it's all yours. Please enjoy. All right, back to the interview. We don't have to overthink it, and I love that you talk about that. What do you say to a coach? They pull up their iPhone, they put up some YouTube, and 12, 37, 53 views. Then they get disheartened and they turn away and they're not going to use YouTube anymore. How do we keep going and start to build some compound interest on our familiarity on YouTube?
Yeah, I think I would encourage a coach to remember where they came from. Remember the price you've paid to get to where you are today. Remember the years that it's taken and the time that it's taken. I think what's so funny in our modern social media age is there's just a lot of misinformation that you're going to post one video and go viral overnight because you heard one story of one person that got lucky and did that. Where ultimately YouTube is like anything else. I mean, the last stats I looked up for small businesses is it takes 2 to 3 years for the average small business to turn a profit.
Yeah.
And so to have that mindset and to go, okay, I know that's what it takes. And I know that 99% of people watching us right now they think back, they're like, yeah, man, I had to pay the price for a lot of things. It always took longer than I thought. But then what we do is we approach YouTube and we think that 4 videos in and 4 weeks later, that all of a sudden we're just going to be, blowing up and all over the internet and build a platform like you have or anything else. And just great things take time and patience. So this is such a great point to make that you want to go in with the right mindset. In the book Good to Great, Jim Collins talked about the flywheel effect. And so there is something about momentum building. I like to say YouTube is like a fine wine. It gets better with age.
Yeah.
The more videos you put on there, the more consistency that you do just week after week, the more of a compound effect that you will experience, not just in 3 to 6 months. So we have all kinds of our community and our students that have actually rapid success. Because of course, getting wisdom is the shortcut. Investing in your skills and leveling up, that's the shortcut. But having the mindset that I'm not just committed to this for 3 months, where could I be in 3 years? Where can my business be? Where can my brand be? And then I think that helps us reverse engineer so we don't think we're going to get overnight results. We're just committed to the process. That is the winning mindset that I've seen that it takes on YouTube.
Let me ask you some practical questions about 2 things. One is the equipment that would help us up our game, say if we only wanted to spend about $1,000. And then I'm going to flip gears and talk about how to deliver content and be a little bit more polished. It looks like you got a great set there. I love that hammer hanging back there and the headphones, and you got your trophy back there. But that doesn't look like it's all that expensive. It just looks awesome, right? I mean, you didn't spend $1 million on that set, did you?
Well, so one way to make your video look better is realize that the smartphone that you have in your pocket or that's on your desk right now is more powerful than the greatest cameras of just 10 years ago. And so you don't need to spend $1,000. For around $100, I recommend accessorizing your smartphone. This is worth writing down, AVL. It stands for audio, video, and lighting. And all you're going to think through is, okay, how do I sound? What's the sound here? And actually, with just your smartphone, if you set it up on some shoe boxes, sat in front of a window, and you're in a carpeted office or home office with maybe lower ceilings, you don't even need a good microphone. Your smartphone is good enough. We just talked about Andrew Finney. He got 300,000 views with a low quality camera and not the best audio. Now, if you were trying to record a video on an airport tarmac or at the train station, like the audio, it's going to be a bad environment. You might need really pro-grade microphone. Just think about the audio. Think about the lighting. Can you shoot outside? Can you shoot in front of a window? Then your lighting could be better. And then think about the video quality. Well, your phone will already do it. And most of our phones are 4K. If you're an iPhone user, we can do a little trick right now. Open up your phone, go to video, and look in the upper right-hand corner, and it probably says HD, might say 30. If you tap that, it'll switch to 4K. 1 second, I just
Wow.
doubled your video quality right there. And you're like, Sean, I have an iPhone 6. It doesn't do 4K. Well, HD is good enough. Like Samsung, Android, whatever you have. But the video quality on your phone is great. But here's what I recommend. You can get like a tabletop tripod like this. Might be $20 on Amazon. You could get these a lightning port or USB-C port for your Android. That's another $20. Wireless, clip it to your shirt. That's $20 on Amazon.
Wow.
You could get a softbox lighting kit that will, if you want to look a little better on screen, kind of flattering, soft lighting, $40 on Amazon. And so for under $100, you could get the audio, you could get the lighting, and actually the fourth letter I'd put in there is AVLS, which is stabilization, which would just mean a tripod. So you're not like having your phone fall over on the shoe boxes, but just something that a phone mount and then having a tripod. And I think that, it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. And using what you have, and what's going to matter much more is the content you deliver.
What are a couple tips on delivering really good, interesting content?
Well, Donald, they say that the camera adds 10 pounds. And so that's why sometimes you put it a little bit higher and tilt it down, the more flattering kind of angle. But here's another truth about the camera. The camera reduces about 50% of your energy.
Wow.
So you want to be authentic and be yourself, and you don't need to act super crazy or be some YouTuber that you may have seen like a Mr. Beast or somebody's energy, but you do want to crank it up. You kind of want to be you times 2. You want to crank it up because what'll come across if you just have more delivery of energy and more intentionality will just be normal. But if you actually just are normal, it might feel a little bit flat. So I encourage, be authentic, but turn the energy up a little bit. Secondly, plan ahead. Even if that just means taking a sticky note, writing the 3 points on it. And if you're going to extemporaneously communicate, great, but maybe clarify those points ahead of time. But thirdly, I would say really focus on the hook. Focus on the first few words. Whether it's YouTube or any social media platform, you want to really grab attention. And there's so much content out there. Why is someone going to want to stick around? You don't want to waste time in the beginning. On YouTube, some of the biggest mistakes is starting with your logo or an intro or music. Like, cut straight to the content. And even starting with, hey, welcome back, Sean Cannell here, founder of ThinkMedia. And in today's video, like, none of that. Do not start with any of that kind of stuff. You want to start, one of the best ways is with a powerful question. Like, I might say, are you looking to start or grow a YouTube channel this year? Have you been frustrated and overwhelmed by the technology? Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 tips on how to improve the video quality, even with the smartphone that you have, number 1. And then I plan the tips out. So while I teach extemporaneously, meaning I don't have a teleprompter, that's fine. If people want to lean into that, it's another conversation. But I do want to plan ahead and know my bullet points. But Donald, I do script my hooks a lot of time. I'll take some time to write it out digitally because those first few sentences are so important. And people aren't going to watch the rest of the content if you don't grab their attention up front and create some curiosity, create some clarity as to what's coming up and why should I listen. And those tips can improve everybody's next video that they put out there or their first video.
Sean, thank you so much. I recommend every single coach get into it right now. Just go grab your YouTube channel, own that territory, put 5 videos up. Sean, are there some resources where people can go to your website and download something that would be helpful?
Yeah, I mean, one of our resources, we have a book called YouTube Secrets. It's on Amazon, and that's a great resource for people. But other than that, you can look us up. ThinkMedia would be the YouTube channel. And to your point, this setup, for a couple $1,000s, eventually you could be in a studio with better lighting and whatnot. And that's one of the things we help people with on ThinkMedia. We help them. Our mutual friend, Michael Hyatt, we were DMing once, and he was like, what's the clip to the thing? And I was like, we got a video for that. So if ultimately you check out ThinkMedia on YouTube, and whether you're accessorizing your smartphone or you want to have fancier production, just search ThinkMedia on YouTube, and we're there to help.
I love it. Sean, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for pouring into our coaches.
Thank you for having me.
I'm grateful to Sean Cannell for his expertise. He really is one of the world's leaders, and he's spoken to our lives as we build our YouTube channel. He was here in studio. Here's some things that I learned just diving into YouTube. First, it takes a long time. We plan on 3 years. It's a 3-year strategy just to get the channel going. So it takes time. It also takes consistency. We try to post something onto the Coach Builder YouTube channel every single day. And then the third thing to remember, at least for us, and I think probably for you too, is we don't really care that much about the numbers. What we care about is the demographic that we're reaching. So if a video gets 400 views, which is very low, but it's 400 potential coaches or existing coaches who could use the content, we consider that a massive win. If I were to go to Chicago and sell out a 400-seat theater of coaches, that would be a massive win. So you have to remember the ecosystem that you're playing in and whether or not you're reaching a lot of people within that small ecosystem. So even if you're getting 50 or 60 views on a specific video, that is 50 or 60 people who are being introduced to you and are seeing you as their guide, as their coach in some way. One thing that can grow your coaching business over time is trust. If people trust you as somebody who can lead them, and trust takes time. So trust is consistent value over time. So putting it all together, be consistent, offer value, take 3 years at least to build your channel, and then earn that trust by giving people some information that they need to be better in whatever specific area that you want to focus on. Another thing is the more you can narrow down your focus as a coach. If it's just cash flow, if it's just preparing your company to sell, if it's just managing people, the more niched down that you can get, the better and the faster that fire is going to light. So if you can just focus on, let's just say finances and small business finance or something like that, you're basically taking all the wood and putting it on a small business finance pile, and that wood is going to light. If you say I'm small business finance and I'm managing people and I'm mindset and I'm weight loss and I'm nutrition, you're taking logs and you're spreading them apart, hoping that they will light. So I would niche down, and then when you get that small fire going that is all around a central issue, add something next to it that you can also get going. And certainly you want to be diverse because you are a diverse coach. You're an expert in a few different areas, but get one fire going first and become known for that, and then spread out from there. YouTube, I will also say this in closing. It's been a wonderful experiment for us. It's caused me as a coach to sit down and think about what I want to communicate. It's caused me to actually spend a little more money on clothes. It's caused me to wake up and consider what I'm coaching my people through on a given day. I would consider it, jumping into the deep end and learning how to swim a little bit better. So I encourage it, even if it's going to be a minor win for you in terms of getting your name out as a coach. All right. Make sure in the comments, share with us your coaching channel. We'd love to follow you and see what you're sharing with the world and maybe feature you on this channel at some point. But YouTube is it's a green light for me. I would say do it. And we wish you the best.